What's up, guys? Welcome to this explainer. Look, today we're going to absolutely demystify all this crazy buzz around artificial intelligence. We're doing a total masterclass, starting from the absolute basics, and then we're going to level up to some super cool advanced stuff. By the time we wrap up, you're going to be totally sorted on the jargon, and more importantly, how to actually use this tech in your daily life. Let's jump right in, yeah?
Okay, here's our quick roadmap for today. First, what is artificial intelligence? Then, categories and model types, how machine learning works, inside large language models, the art of prompting, and finally, your real-world AI workflow. Let's go.
Section 1. What is artificial intelligence? Let's get the absolute basics sorted out. So basically, think of AI as this massive umbrella term. It covers literally any scenario where a computer mimics intelligent human behavior. But underneath that huge umbrella, that's where we find the more specific, super powerful fields that are driving today's massive tech boom, stuff like machine learning and deep learning.
You know, it helps to see how these concepts nest perfectly inside one another, almost like Russian dolls. AI is the big, broad concept. Inside that, you've got machine learning, which is where a system actually learns patterns from data instead of just following rules. Deeper inside that is deep learning, that uses brain-like neural networks. And right at the core, that's where we find LLMs, or large language models. Those are the exact tools like ChatGPT that we're chatting with every single day.
To make this super clear, let's contrast the old way with the new way. The old school method is rule-based AI. Think of a classic email spam filter. If the email says lottery, block it. It's super rigid, right? But modern machine learning, totally different beast. It looks at millions of emails, finds hidden patterns on its own, and adapts to block brand new scams without us having to write a single new rule. It's a total game changer.
All right, moving on to Section 2, categories and model types.
Now, the crucial takeaway here is that literally all the AI we actually use today, whether we're talking about Siri, ChatGPT, or even a self-driving car, is strictly narrow AI, meaning it is highly specialized for just one specific task. General AI, which could supposedly do any human intellectual task, that is still just a massive research goal. And super AI, honestly, for now, that's pure science fiction.
Next up, Section 3. How machine learning works.
So how do we actually teach these models? There are basically three main ways. First up is supervised learning. You give the AI labeled data, like thousands of tagged X-rays, so it eventually learns to spot diseases. Second is unsupervised learning, where the data isn't labeled at all. Think of how Netflix naturally groups viewers into clusters based on their watch habits. And third is reinforcement learning. This is pure trial and error. It's exactly how AI learned to crush world chess champions, just playing millions of games and getting a digital reward every time it won.
And you know when your phone camera instantly locks onto your face for a selfie? That is deep learning in action, right in your pocket. It uses these complex, hidden layers of artificial neurons to analyze the raw pixels step by step. First, it finds the edges, then the facial features, and finally it concludes, yep, for sure, that's a face.
Okay, Section 4. Inside large language models.
Okay, so large language models, or LLMs, are essentially just ultra-powerful autocorrects predicting the next most likely chunk of text. But here is the secret. They don't actually read full words like you and I do. They break everything down into tiny, bite-sized chunks called tokens. So the word artificial might actually be split by the AI into two tokens, like art and official. Now, why should you care? Well, this number 4 is super important, especially if you ever want to build your own apps using AI. One token is roughly 4 characters in English, which is about 3/4 of a word. And that matters because tokens are exactly how you get billed for using these models behind the scenes. It's basically the currency of AI.
Which brings us to the context window. You can think of this as the model's short-term working memory. Imagine you reading a massive 1,000-page book, but you can only hold the last 300 pages in your head. If an AI has a small context window, it will literally forget the beginning of a long chat you're having with it. Thankfully, modern models have huge context windows now, letting you upload entire books all at once.
Moving on to Section 5, the art of prompting.
Listen, if you take away anything from this explainer today, it should be this. You have to be specific when you talk to AI. It's absolutely crucial. If you just give a weak prompt, like write about dogs, you're going to get super generic fluff. But if you give it a strong prompt with a clear format, a word count, and strict constraints, you get immediate first-class results.
Seriously, check this one out. This is like the ultimate strong prompt. It gives the AI a specific role, a very clear task, a precise target audience, and tight constraints,
all in one go. When you prompt like this, you upgrade AI from a cool novelty toy to an elite digital assistant.
Finally, Section 6, your real-world AI workflow.
Remember, AI is way more than just text. You really have to pick the right tool for the job. You'd use LLMs to draft your emails, sure, but you'd use diffusion models like Midjourney to generate stunning images. Or you might use speech models like Whisper to transcribe an hour-long meeting, and vision models to analyze visual data. It's a whole toolkit.
And as you get more advanced, you're definitely going to hear the term RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation. Without getting too deep in the weeds, this basically lets your AI securely search through your own private company documents before it answers you. It ensures the response is highly accurate, completely tailored to your stuff, and it stops the AI from just hallucinating or making things up.
Now, the next major frontier, beyond just a simple chat window, is the AI agent. An agent doesn't just talk back and forth with you, it can actually reason through a complex goal, use external tools like web browsers, and take multi-step actions entirely on its own. It literally works on massive tasks for you in the background while you sleep. Pretty wild, right?
So, I'll leave you with this final thought for today's explainer. You are definitely no longer just a beginner. You now know exactly how the magic works under the hood, the difference between all these models, and how to craft the perfect prompt. So, what specific, tedious task in your life are you going to automate with AI starting today? Get out there and start experimenting, guys.